Frederick asked me to come here and, in keeping with the theme, throw out some ideas of where technology is taking us. And you'll probably, within 8 minutes, you'll go, God, that was wonderful, or you'll go, this guy's full of you-know-what, he's clueless. So that's my challenge. I've spent my entire career selling technologies. I was in Compaq, HP, until recently in Intel. I set up Intel's sales into the energy sector worldwide. So that's what I used to do, selling technologies. And I spend my time now telling stories about technology and new technology and the implications of technology. And I'll start out straight up front. In terms of what you've heard over the last 2 days, in terms of the energy transition, the complexity of this thing, the technology is the easy bit. That's why I stay in the technology. It's when us humans get involved with policy and politics and whatever. That's where it gets messy. Technology is the easy bit. So I want to share with you some of the things that are going on in technology. And if you thought it was complex when you walked in yesterday morning, wait until we're in 2025. I'll give you some food for thought. At least that's my challenge. Now, when I talk about technology, I come from the IT world. So it was always cloud and wireless, and then we went to augmented reality and drones and yada, yada, yada. And that's continuing. Innovation is not slowing down. That's the good news. It's also the bad news. But the other piece of the puzzle, for those of you in the energy industry, there's a lot of other innovation happening. In the chemicals, like the oil and gas industry is a chemical industry. Look at the innovation that's going on in there with new ways of processing, new chemical batteries. There's a whole lot of mechanical innovations, starting to use superconductors, starting to use new types of raw materials to make wind turbines more efficient. And you have the whole thing around materials. You know, you can actually make a wind turbine more efficient by different types of paint, right? That's the level of efficiency people are doing. And that's innovation. Now, Lawrence called out yesterday, it's a complex industry. And I'm going to go through a bunch of things now that make it more complex. And yet the other comments that were brilliant yesterday was that if we try and oversimplify it, and then we go back and try and get the customer to pay more money, they go, well, why am I paying for all this stuff? You said it was simple. I don't know the answer. As I said, I stick with the technology. That's the easy bit. Now, I'm a big fan of Gartner. I've no shares in them, I never worked for them, whatever, but I love their hype cycles, because it gives you something everybody can disagree with, right? So at least it's a level playing field. Innovation is not slowing down. I just threw up two. One here on your right. These are new, this is a hype cycle for new technologies. This isn't augmented reality and drones and whatever. This is all the new stuff. So we'll have decentralized web, an AR cloud. I actually don't know what an AR cloud is, but it sounds cool. Augmented intelligence, yada, yada. These are all the things that are coming at us. Just on the left-hand side, that is the hype cycle for artificial intelligence. Now, if you're around tonight, I'll bore you to tears about what I think of artificial intelligence in terms of whether we have it today or not, or whether it's advanced machine learning. And if anybody's in marketing and we have artificial intelligence on your product marketing thing today, come talk to me, because we'll have a discussion. But if you dig into any one of these topics, you find that, my God, there's a whole set of sub-technologies inside. And some of these things are fascinating. But the problem or the feature or the whatever it is that it's complex. And there's multiple ways of doing things. Technology, innovation, that's just some IT things, is not slowing down. If you think it's fast today, buckle in. It's only going to get more impressive. So a couple of 4 or 5 things I just want to throw out there. Engagement. How many of you have an Alexa or a Google Home or Siri in your house? How many of you talk to your phone? So how the hell do you brand an Amazon Alexa skill when the voice coming out of the speaker is the exact same for every energy company? I don't know, but we're all going to be talking to things. And, you know, some of you in the room, a bunch of US utilities now have Alexa skills. That's what you call a piece of software that sits in the Alexa, and you go, hey, Alexa, what's my bill? And it calls back to you. It reads the smart meter from the cloud and calls back and says, your current energy consumption is whatever. You're doomed. right? But seriously, engagement is changing. We may not even use keyboards and mice and whatever and you talk to everything. So how the hell do you brand that when the voice is the exact same for every energy company? I don't know, that's your problem. More problems. Well, not problems, they're good problems. In my view, just great problems. Energy storage. How many people here think energy storage is a good thing? How many people here are marketing the fact that we as a company are selling energy storage or we'll provide it? Okay, right. There's lots of different technologies for energy storage. You've obviously got the chemical, the batteries. You've got mechanical, you've got electrical, supercapacitors, thermal, mechanical, flywheels, yada, yada, yada. Fascinating technologies. A couple of features. Lithium-ion is kind of the go-to today. Lithium-ion, and where it's processed in some parts of the world, is not a very clean process. But the good news is we're not going to run out of lithium. We'll probably run out of cobalt. And cobalt today is being mined in some parts of the world where very young people, and I mean kids, are digging the stuff out of the ground. So what happens when there's a backlash against using lithium ion and you've branded everything going, we got energy storage? Maybe you start thinking about, we'll use flow batteries, organic flow batteries that are made from trees. This technology exists. Now, I'm a glass half full kind of guy, right? I'm always going, technology will get us out of climate problems. I do not think it will fix it. I think it will help us mitigate. That's my personal opinion. So I'm all for technology. But I'm just trying to throw out some things of some of the fun and games we have down the line. Are you depressed or? Who let this guy up? Another beauty, wireless charging. How many of you do wireless charging for your phone or your smartwatch or whatever, right? Well, there's a couple of companies now and they'll do wireless charging for drones. Because what you want to do is you want to put a drone in the back of a wind turbine so the drone pops out of the wind turbine automatically, flies around, does a scan, drops back down, recharges. Because there's no guy sitting there waiting for the drone to park and plug in a cable out in the middle of the North Sea. There's a company at CES this year and they're doing wireless charging for a drone. You fly it into this bunch of wires and it wireless charges the drone. These things exist. Do you know that you can wirelessly charge an electric vehicle? Now, I personally wouldn't like to sit in the car while it's being done, but there's people looking at these technologies. There are people looking at, can you wirelessly charge a car as it's driving along the ground, on the road? And you say, oh, yeah, but yeah. Well, we're 2025. Autonomous vehicles are here. You get into the whole thing of, well, I won't buy a car, I'll just have an Uber and the car will turn up. Who charges the autonomous cars? Where do they go to charge? So I work with companies that go, oh, we need to put wireless charging points into every car park in London. We'll make a fortune. You might for a couple of years. But if they're autonomous cars, they can drive off in the middle of the night and go somewhere where it's cheaper to get charged. Because the other energy company with a wind farm on the North Sea, 50 miles outside London, goes, come to me, I've got a good deal. So then all the cars turn up. Who's going to plug them in? I have to hire guys to pull up. How's it going? You don't know to talk to. So what they're thinking of, do you know what? If we wireless charge them, they're autonomous cars, they can park closer together. I don't need the real estate for the plug charger. Bizarre, but think about it. Now, the other thing is, this is wireless electricity. It's like roaming. How the hell do you sell that to somebody? You're not limited to the meter anymore. I'm taking my energy with me. Make energy personal. Whole different concept. Imagine the marketing presentations in that one. 3D everything. We're collecting data from drones. You've got low Earth orbit satellites coming in. You've got people walking around with body cameras. You're going to have somebody driving around, a UPS truck, an Uber taxi, something with cameras, with all sorts of collecting data. There are utilities on the planet today that are saying if there's a UPS truck driving down the street, collecting all the data, I'll be able to detect if a pole, electricity pole, has moved overnight because there was a storm. Because I have the data from yesterday, I'll do AI and it'll tell me. And I can send out the repair crew. You say science fiction. Chatting with Lawrence at lunch, he was talking about this stuff 4 years ago. This is happening. There's a company in Europe and they're trademarking doing this for a network digital twin. How many of you here know what a digital twin is? Okay, right, for the rest of you, we brought IoT, we collect all the data from a device. Well, you can model that device. It's like simulating it. You go into a power plant, you get digital data from everything in the power plant. You can create a model of the entire power plant. You then take that up and you create a model for the entire city. That's a digital twin of a city. That's where this stuff is headed. Now, anybody into GDPR? Oh, God, can you imagine? Oh. So you've body cameras, you've got AR and headsets, VR, whatever, all coming at us. And blockchain. This is the last tech slide. I'm a big fan of blockchain. I'm a big fan of blockchain technology. And there's all different types. There's different people bringing out different types of blockchain. It's a technology, it's a platform. Blockchain, and when I say blockchain, it does not mean Bitcoin. Bitcoin is an implementation of blockchain, but it is not for the energy industry. That's where the Energy Web Foundation, Hyperledger from IBM fit in. Blockchain makes you think about stuff differently. It's a different philosophy. And if you haven't heard of tokenomics and cryptoeconomics, if you're bored at the weekend, look them up. You've heard of peer-to-peer energy trading. It's my energy, I can sell it to you. It's illegal in most of the world today, right? We have energy communities coming in Western Europe, but it's a bit out there. I use blockchain, Powerledger, one of the best, they're one of the best companies that are commercializing blockchain today. They won an award last night. These companies are out there. But when you start thinking about, I'll tell you what, we will create a token for energy for all of Iceland. So when I pull up when the car pulls up, the autonomous car, who somebody owns, and it's got its own cryptocurrency wallet, because it's a piece of software, it will use the tokens to pay for the electricity. And when I go in and sit in the car to take me down to McDonald's, down to the Irish pub to meet friends, I might pay in energy tokens, Icelandic energy tokens, because I'm burning energy. Imagine the types of ecosystems you could build with that. Throw in cryptoeconomics. That's where you have the token, you buy energy with it, but you also play on the crypto Binance currency markets. That's a whole different ballgame. But can you imagine the disruptive nature of something like that? Now, that does not do away with the need for copper wires, power plants, wind farms, etc., but many of you guys in the room will become an ingredient brand. I'm not kidding. Somebody else will be selling this stuff. They will be the face of the thing. You can disagree with me later. Last slide. So we've all this cool stuff coming at us. And to be quite honest, we've had cool stuff coming at us for years. I used to spend my time going around on behalf of Intel, going into energy companies, going, hey, we're here, here's the latest great new technology. And they go, oh God, Donovan's back. We haven't been able to implement the stuff you sold us last year. And now you're here with the next thing. There's a bit of fatigue kicking in. Ah, Jesus, there's too much technology. I'll skip this one, I'll wait for the next thing. But you have to do this and you have to do that. And you know, what percentage of IT projects fail? It's not because of the technology, we humans aren't great at them. And there's more and more technology. And the last thing I'll just throw out is trust. It came up today in a bunch of things. We're going to have more and more algorithms. Do you trust the algorithm? Depends what the algorithm's doing. If I'm selling a piece of artificial intelligence to run the grid in Germany so that I can balance everything spectacularly because I know exactly where all of the autonomous cars are going to be at 7 o'clock tonight, everything around grid congestion, curtailment, yeah, I can do it all. I can do it all in the AI. But I'm selling it to you, but I can't tell you how it works because that's my intellectual property. So I'm not telling you how the algorithm works, but I want you to buy it and trust it. There's a big backlash. Go talk to any power engineer and say, don't worry about it, it's a black box, it'll be grand. If they don't see the understanding. And that's down to the home. How do I know you're optimizing the energy in my home perfectly? Because you said so? Dude. It's going to be a fun ride.